Morning, guys. Got Bruno out here. We've done a lot of work with Bruno, and he's at a spot emotionally, mentally with his development. And remember, he's only about 10 months old, going 9 on 10 months old, right? Bruno, Platz, bleiben. So now we get to the next part of dog training, okay, the human factor. And you hear me talking about it all the time, where I'm trying my best to impress to the public and impress to people that watch my videos how much is involved with you getting involved with it. Because when you take in a trainer like me and you start having somebody condition your dog, they've got their body language, their voice tone, their way of conditioning the dog that is unique to them, who they are as a trainer, right? And every trainer is different, just like every dog is different. Right? So I have a certain voice tone, I have certain mannerisms, I have certain body language that this dog keys in on. And there's the misconception of most people. They never get told this stuff. Trainers don't do that. They just go off and they show off all this stuff online, and they show how it works and what they're doing, and they impress the customers. But again, it's ignorance based on lack of understanding, concepts, perceptions from the human side, right? The human's perception and what they perceive that dog training is, right? So now realize that now I've got to get this dog back home, and I've got to train the owner to be able to work this dog and to follow suit with what I've got this dog already doing, and then to change their lifestyles in a certain respect, plots, and start putting that dog into their life in such a way that that dog becomes an integral part of their life, but at the same time, they understand how much work they've got to put into it. When you see us out here doing all the stuff that we do, it's thousands of hours, and we break everything down to little parts and pieces in how we build the behaviors. So I look at it as a puzzle. You're taking a puzzle piece and you're actually working on that one individual aspect of what you're conditioning in the dog, right? Sits, good, sits, good. Yes, good. Nope, yes. Yes. So when I get the dog here to look at me, right? Look, good. Bruno, good. Notice the eye contact. Good, Bruno. Yep, good boy, good. That didn't come without work, and it didn't come without me putting a puzzle together in that one aspect of just that one behavior. Remember? And there's hundreds, if not thousands of behaviors that we start to work with the dog. Right? So we've got to now get the owner to understand what he's got to do or she's got to do to keep these behaviors up, and to start making this dog an integral part of their life as far as their lifestyles, and get them to succeed. What's that going to entail? It's going to entail them. It's nothing to do with the dog. It's their relationship with the dog. Their whole thing in regards to how they get along with the dog and what they expect of the dog, and their understanding of what I'm teaching them, right? I can only do so much. My forte as a trainer is to have a lot more ability with the dogs because of how much saturation over the years I've had. I've been in kennels with 150, 200 runs in a kennel, managed the kennels, plots, and done all kinds of things to acquire my skills, right? And all kinds of, I'm constantly trying to mine the informational spiel and getting more information from different perspectives, from different trainers that do things differently, and seeing what they do, constantly doing that. I've got my net in the water all the time, and it never stops for me because this is my passion. Nope, correct. Good, there you go, good boy. He came right back up. See, that's now he understands, correct. So my biggest goal right now with him and with that Malinois, I'm just getting them done. They're both going back home. Benzo's going back home tomorrow. Today, excuse me, I got to go home. Correct, good. With the customer this morning. And then the shepherd goes home in another couple days as well. So that being the case, now I have the other side of the coin, the human side, right? And I have to get them to be motivated, to get off the couch, to want to work with their animals, to get enthused and motivated in getting out there with a dog and having fun and enjoying themselves with their animal. And it's all there. It's all there for them. I've done so much work in getting this dog correct. Good. Thank you. Good. See how he got sloppy, but he understands correct. Good. And now we've got that to work with. So all these little behaviors, even getting him from being slouched. He was in a slouched position, rolling on his hip. I said correct, and right away, correct. Good. Yep. Good boy. That's body language. It's voice tone. It's him knowing what I expect of him because I built these behaviors, right? So now we've got to get the human to learn on the other side. The owner of this dog has to learn everything nope. Correct. Good. That I've done. See, when I go into chattering and I'm talking at the screen, he starts to get relaxed because he's just going to kick it, right? Correct. At ease. Good boy. Good. There you go. Good. He knows I want something of him. He's trying to give it to me. Good. But when I start yakking and start getting distracted, he goes, oh, I'll relax. I'll just wait for Dad because he's on a downstate, right? Which is acceptable. But I'm working on teaching him what that means and getting him to come up to that, what I call attention, where he's in a straight line, nice and straight. See how that is? And he's not slouched and rolling over on his hip, right? Good. So we have a lot to teach the owner, and it's really going to be up to them to be motivated, to want to learn, to get involved with it. That's the key. That is going to be the math equation. 2 and 2 adds up to 4. That other side, that other 2 that you need to add up to 4 is going to be them. Right? And then they will have the product that I have available to give them. When I go out and do all this stuff and I make myself look good, it doesn't do me a bit of good if the customer doesn't follow through, get off the couch and keep working the dog and keep learning and growing themselves. That's really the key. How much do they want it? How much do they want to get involved with their animal? And I'm going to be honest with you. That's the hardest part for me. I have a hard time getting people to be motivated and get off the couch and really get in with their animals. I'm real good with dogs, and I'm good at selling the accounts and getting them in because they don't understand what they're going to have to put into it. But at the end, deciding factor in how well or how good or not good, in other words, how bad they do, is all up to the owner. It's all up to them being motivated. Now, I'm here for them. They're paying for me for my knowledge, for me to get up there and do lessons and all that, but they're going to want it. If they don't, they're pissing their money away and they're not going to do very good with their dog. Now, whose fault is that? Well, we play a game in a way, and we just kind of put the onus on the owner, and we tell them all this stuff, and then when they fade out and they get into their lifestyles and the dog just becomes a house dog and doesn't do anything, and they've pissed their money away, whose fault is it, right? So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to get across to you guys when I'm doing these videos. I'm trying to make you realize you are a big part of the equation. Without you, this dog is not going to reach the levels that I can help you reach. With your motivation and wanting to do this, because I want this dog to work. I want him to be a representation of me, right? So that when I do my thing and I get him back to the family, they put the motivation in and the dog starts to work really well. They're very happy. Correct? Good. See it? Good. All right, good boy. And that's my command for attention. I call it correct, right? In other words, I want you downing in a correct position. Couche, plots, good boy. And I said couche, but my body language said down. So he responded because I've got food in my hand and I'm luring the behavior. I'm stimulating the behavior with my conditioning. Bruno, plots. Good. See, now he's expecting his rewards. So I've got to teach the customer how to get this behavior out of the dog and then how to keep it up. It's all going to be contingent on the customer really putting in the motivation and wanting the levels that we can give him. I mean, this dog can do anything you want to have that dog. That dog is a high dollar dog. The dog's got more drive than he knows what. He's got genetic stamp to die for. There's nothing you can't do with this dog. But in the end, if you want it, you got to work for it. You got to learn. You got to grow. And that's what a professional like me is here to do and be here for you. But if you're going to be lazy, if you're going to slide into your other lifestyle and you think of it as just paying somebody to create a robot and it's just a piece of machinery, that's not true. It's you. You have to have a relationship with this dog that adds up to this dog working for you as well as he does me. And I can't force you to get off the couch. I can't force you to mine that information, like I said, that I'm constantly doing, right? Bruno? Yep. You go free, hon. Bruno? Yep. Here. Good boy. Good. All right, you go free, hon. Go on. You go free, hon. Yep. You go free, hon. Go on. Good dog. Good. He's looking for his girlfriend on the fence line. So that's my little yak session today. Trying to impress upon you. In other words, I'm always trying to talk to the screen in regards to what I do on a daily basis and what I grow through. And now we're at that phase now that I'm going through the human side where I've got to try to get the humans off the couch and get them motivated to work their animal. It's not easy, right? The human is always the hardest. The dog's the easiest for me because I'm into what I'm into. And I'm going to get off the couch and I'm going to go work the dogs. I'm going to build these behaviors. I'm going to do what I need to do to fulfill my obligation for the customer. But in the end, when the dog goes home, I have no control anymore. Dog's at home, and if you don't call me and say, hey, I want to get together with you and start pushing on learning and growing, there's nothing I can do for you. right? So in the beginning, I push a little bit. I try to stay on top of the customer, try to get them motivated. And then at a certain point, I just die off and wait for the customer to be the one that shows me they're motivated and they want to work the dog. See what I'm saying? So keep it in mind. I'll talk to you later. Have a good weekend, you guys. Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training on Memorial Weekend. Doing go-home lessons this morning with Benzo. He's going home. And then I'm going to do another go-home with him. And I've got to drive into LA and go into a little bit more of a nice spot coming up. I'll talk to you later.